my fiancée demanded. If you love me, you'll buy my parents a house. Otherwise, you're not man enough. I replied. Consider it done. Then I canceled the wedding and bought the house, for myself. Last month, her whole family showed up crying. I don't even know where to start with this one. Honestly, man, even now, sitting here months later, it still pisses me off just thinking about it. I'm 35, been working my ass off since I was 19. No shortcuts, no handouts. Built my own business from scratch while most people I knew were out there getting wasted and blowing daddy's money. And yeah, I met her a few years ago, let's call her Emily. On paper? She was great. Funny, smart, hot, the full package, you know? My buddies were like, bro, you hit the jackpot. Sure felt like it at the time. Things moved fast, we got serious, started talking about marriage. That's when the little red flags started popping up, but I did what a lot of guys do. I brushed them off. You know how it is, you don't want to believe the person you love might be that person. Looking back now? Yeah, I was an idiot. Should have paid attention the first time she said dumb shit like, well, if you really loved me, you'd want to take care of my parents too. I thought she was half joking. Spoiler alert, she wasn't. Her parents were always around. And not in a normal, involved parents kinda way. More like leeches who smelled money. Every dinner, every holiday, some little snide comment about how a real man provides for the whole family. Or a husband should step up for his wife's parents. You know, that passive-aggressive crap where they pretend they're joking but they're dead serious? Yeah. That kind. And Emily? She never shut that down. If anything, she fed into it. At first, I figured, whatever, I can handle a bit of family drama. I mean, nobody's in-laws are perfect, right? But nah, man. They kept pushing. Testing how much I'd tolerate. Her dad once flat out said at dinner, if you're serious about marrying Emily, you'll take on her family's responsibilities too. Like I was signing some goddamn contract to adopt them or something. I laughed it off that night, but deep down I knew where this was heading. Then came the conversation that flipped everything. The one where she dropped the line. And let me tell you, brother, you don't forget when somebody looks you dead in the eye and says something like that. So one night we're having one of those future planning talks, you know, the ones that always sound harmless at first, but deep down you feel the ground shifting under you. She's sitting across from me, sipping her overpriced oat milk latte like she's negotiating a business deal, and just drops it like it's nothing. Word for word. If you really love me, you'll buy my parents a house. Otherwise, you're not man enough to marry me. Just like that. No hesitation, no awkward laugh after, nothing. Like it was the most normal thing to say. And I'm sitting there staring at her like, wow. That's where we're at now. After everything I've built, everything I've done, this is what defines whether I'm a man in her eyes. Buying her parents a damn house. Like they haven't been grown-ass adults longer than I've been alive? Honestly, man, I didn't even get mad. I just hit that weird kind of clarity where you realize exactly who you're dealing with. You know that moment where all the little things suddenly click together like some twisted puzzle? Yeah. That. The worst part? She was dead serious. Fully expected me to say, of course, babe. Like some spineless idiot who just got his paycheck deposited and can't wait to hand it over. That wasn't a request, that was a damn ultimatum. And you know what? That told me everything I needed to know. Because let's be real, if this is how she plays before the wedding, imagine after. That house wouldn't be the end. It'd be vacations, cars, covering their debts, bailing out her loser brother, you name it. I saw the whole future in that one sentence. But here's the kicker, I didn't argue. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't hit her with some dramatic speech. I just sat back, nodded once, and said, consider it done. And judging by the way she smiled right after, she really thought she'd won. That's the level of delusion we were working with. She had no idea what I actually meant. And that, my friend, is where this whole thing really started cooking. The thing is, once you hear a sentence like that from the woman you're about to marry, something inside you just flips. It's not even anger. It's like your brain quietly steps back, folds its arms, and goes, alright, man. This is who she is. Don't say I didn't warn you. And from that moment, every single conversation we had after just sounded different. You hear the same words, but now you catch all the little digs, all the expectations baked in. Honestly, I started noticing how her entire family viewed me too. Like I was some investment they were waiting to cash in on. No one even tried to hide it. Suddenly her mom's talking about how it would be nice if they had a summer place. Her dad's throwing hints about how proud he is that his daughter found someone successful. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting there like, yeah, I see the game now. And man, the way they started treating me was wild. It wasn't, "You're part of the family." It was more like, "You're the upgrade." Like they finally landed a son-in-law who could cover the gaps they couldn't. And don't get me wrong, I'm not some broke dude. I worked my ass off for years, built my career from scratch. But I don't owe anyone a damn thing just because I happen to have my life together. And they treated it like I was supposed to feel honored that they even allowed me into their mess. What really pushed it over the edge was one dinner we had with her parents. Full-on formal vibe. You could tell they were about to pitch something. Her dad starts with the whole, "We've been looking at properties" speech, like they already assume I'm on board. Her mom's got her phone out showing me listings. My fiancée? She's sitting there all sweet and quiet, acting like this is some casual conversation, but shooting me that look like, "Say yes and be the hero." I just kept sipping my drink, letting them talk, pretending I was weighing my options. But in my head, the plan was already shifting. See, they thought they were playing chess. But I've played with people who actually know how to move pieces. This was amateur hour. They were so confident, so sure they had me cornered, they didn't even consider I might not be playing the same game anymore. That's the funny part. People like that never see it coming. Because they never imagine you'd be willing to walk away. And you know what's even funnier? The way my fiancée tried to play it off like this was normal. Like, bro, she actually sat across from me one night, swirling her wine, saying, "Babe, you know my parents aren't trying to pressure you. They just want what's best for the family." I stared at her for a second. Best for who exactly? Because it's starting to sound like they want me to buy them security disguised as family bonding. She rolls her eyes, leans in like she's being sweet. Well, isn't that what men do? Provide? Honestly, at that point, it was wild how casual she was being about it. Like we're discussing weekend plans, not six-figure life decisions. I asked her flat out. "So let me get this straight. If I say no, what happens?" She smiles, cool as hell. "I mean, I guess it would just show me you're not ready to step up fully." Step up fully. That's the phrase she used. I swear, my ears started ringing after that. Not support each other, not build together. No, it's prove you're a man. Right. Got it. Couple days later, her mom calls me directly. And this woman? She doesn't even pretend. "Listen," she says. "This isn't just about a house, honey. This is about you demonstrating commitment. Real men take care of their wife's family. You wouldn't want us to think you're marrying above your level, would you?" I sat there silent for a second because, damn, that's a level of disrespect you almost admire for the audacity. I answered super calm. "Well, if your definition of manhood is paying for people who aren't my responsibility, maybe your daughter should have found herself a bank, not a husband." Dead silence on the line. Then, of course, the guilt trip kicks in. "We're just trying to build a future together as one family." Yeah, no thanks. And here's where I knew this was becoming a full-on setup. Her dad starts texting me links to mortgage brokers. Like, bro, we're not even married yet, and I'm getting loan options sent to my phone like some kind of payment plan for access to their daughter. The man literally texted me, "If you move fast, we can lock in this interest rate before the market shifts. It's a smart investment." I replied, "I bet it is for you." Left him on read after that. What really sealed it though? We were having dinner with her friends one night, just a casual hangout. Drinks flowing, everyone relaxed. Then one of her girlfriends, clearly too tipsy, blurts out, "Girl, you really hit the jackpot with him. Your parents must be so relieved." Everybody laughs. She doesn't correct her, doesn't say a word. Just smirks and clinks glasses like she's proud of the fact. That's when I mentally clocked out. That moment right there? That's when I knew she was never really with me. She was with the idea of me. After that night, man, I already knew, this wasn't about love anymore. This was a transaction dressed up as romance. But listen, I'm not the type who bails at the first red flag. I watch. I observe. I let people show me exactly who they are, and trust me, they always do. And sure enough, the show was just getting started. A week later, her father invites me over for a little family chat. The second I heard those words, I knew this was about to turn into some kind of performance. So there we are, me, her, both of her parents, and some so-called family consultant they dragged into it. Bald dude, smug face, probably charging them $500 an hour to stroke their egos. Everyone smiling, but the air in that room? Thick with passive-aggressive tension. Her father kicks it off, of course. Like he's some boardroom CEO. Son, we're just here to help you fully grasp the responsibility you're taking on. Stability is important. You wouldn't want your future children growing up in a rented apartment, would you? I didn't respond right away. I just stared at him for a few seconds, took a slow sip of my coffee, and then, calm, steady, I said, "Funny hearing about stability from the man who's already bankrupted 2 businesses. You sure you want to lecture me on finances?" The whole room got quiet. He coughed like he was trying to reset himself, and that's when the consultant jumped in, trying to mediate. "Let's not turn this into a confrontation. We're talking about financial responsibility here." I smiled slightly. "No, you're talking about leverage. Let's call it what it is." Now the mom jumped in. She did her part, soft voice, fake concern. "We just want to make sure you're serious about her well-being. It's not about money. We just want her to feel secure." I let her finish her little monologue and replied straight. "Her well-being is my business. What you're talking about, that's just extortion wrapped in fake concern. If you want to put a price tag on your daughter, at least have the decency to name your number up front." She stopped breathing for a second, like she wasn't ready for me to go there. And of course, her father tried to rescue the situation. "That's insulting, son. We're simply concerned about the financial side of things. After all, you knew taking on a serious woman comes with serious obligations." Bro, at that point, I was done playing their little word games. I leaned in, looked him dead in the eye, and said, "What you call obligations, I call your retirement plan. I'm not your cash-out strategy. You want a buyer? Look elsewhere." Silence. The entire room went silent. After that little dinner theater, man, I switched fully into observation mode. And that's when she started doubling down. Dropping little comments like, "My parents just want to know you're really committed," or getting moody anytime I wouldn't engage in the money talk. And little by little, it hit me, she wasn't even sure anymore if she wanted a husband or just someone to sponsor her family's lifestyle. So after that little intervention, her parents pulled. I figured maybe that was their final shot. You know, the desperate flex before backing off. Nah. They were just warming up. 2 days later, I get a text from her. "Babe, let's have dinner at my uncle's place. He really wants to meet you." And at this point, honestly, I already know what game we're playing. But fine. I go. Just to see how deep this rabbit hole goes. We show up, and it's not some casual dinner, it's a setup. Her uncle's sitting there like he's about to negotiate a merger. Full suit, whiskey poured, barely says hello. Small talk lasts maybe 3 minutes before he hits me with, "So I hear you're serious about marrying my niece. That's a big responsibility. You ready to step up for real?" I stay cool. "Depends what you mean by step up. I don't work off vague threats, man. You got something specific?" He smiles, that smug, corporate smile. "Well, in this family, we take care of each other. When you marry in, you're expected to contribute. That includes supporting her parents, future kids, and long-term stability. You wouldn't want to seem inadequate, would you?" I swear, bro, it was so transparent it was almost funny. I leaned back, crossed my arms, and hit him right back. "Yeah? And when exactly does your family start contributing to me? Or is this a one-way street kind of deal?" Dead silence. She tries to jump in to defuse it. "Babe, please, they're just trying to protect me. They want to make sure you can handle the future. You know I want us to have a big house, nice cars, good schools for our kids." I cut her off, calmly but sharp. "You mean you want me to buy your parents a house and fund your lifestyle? Let's call it what it is. You can drop the Protect Me Act, you're not 12. Her uncle's face goes stiff. "You're being defensive." I chuckled. "No, I'm being clear. There's a difference. You people keep dancing around the fact you're trying to sell me a bill of goods. And let's be real, if you think throwing money at your daughter's family defines whether I'm a man or not, we're not having the same conversation." At that point, her uncle didn't even try to continue. He just sat there like his little power move got shut down hard. But her? She got pissed. That ride home was basically her venting nonstop. "You embarrassed me in front of my family. You act like everyone's out to get you." I let her vent. Honestly, I barely responded. I just said, "If your love comes with price tags, then yeah, I'm out here defending myself." She stormed off to her apartment. We didn't talk for 3 days. But here's where it really shifted. On the 4th day, I get another text. "Can we meet? I have something serious to talk about." Bro, I already knew where this was going, but I was curious. And trust me, she did not disappoint. We sat at the same coffee shop where, A couple of years ago, she had first, accidentally, brought up marriage. The vibe now? Completely different. She kept stirring her cup like it was gonna give her the right words. Eyes darting, lips tight. I let her squirm in silence. Finally, she took a breath and dropped it. I've been thinking a lot. You know this isn't just about me. This is about us. About building a family. You want stability, right? I didn't say a word. My dad brought it up again. He says a real man proves himself by taking care of his woman's family first. I raised an eyebrow. Your dad isn't planning to take care of you himself? Her voice sharpened. He's done everything for me already. Now it's your turn. I leaned back and looked her dead in the eyes. Listen carefully. I'm ready to build a future. But buying your dad's approval? Not part of the deal. She tried to push harder. How can you be so selfish? Don't you get how important this is to them? I deserve for my parents to be proud of me. Proud of my fiancée. I nodded. So your dad's pride has a price tag. And your love for me is basically a transaction. She snapped. Don't twist my words. I stayed cold. I'm not twisting anything. You said it. That's when she tried to flip the whole thing. So what now? You can't even do this one thing? Do you realize how pathetic that looks? My dad said he's weak. He won't be able to provide for a real family. I actually smirked a little. Tell your dad I've got enough strength to not pay for his ego. She shot up from her seat, furious. You'll regret this. I calmly finished my coffee. Trust me, I've regretted a lot of things. But not refusing to play this game. We walked out with no hugs, no plans for next time. She looked pissed and scared, because for the first time, she realized I wasn't folding. And if she thought this was the end of the game? Yeah, not even close. A few days pass after that little scene. I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, she'll cool off, do some thinking, realize how insane this whole thing sounds. But nah. She doubles down instead. Out of nowhere, her mother calls me. Yeah, not her mother. And right off the bat she goes. You know, it's not unreasonable what we're asking. You have a good job. You're capable. A house isn't too much to expect. I literally had to hold back a laugh. Ma'am, with all due respect, your family's expectations aren't my financial responsibility. She didn't miss a beat. But it's tradition in our culture. A man proves his love by taking care of his future in-laws. That's how strong families are built. I stayed calm. Strong families are built on respect. Not demands. Not ultimatums. She got sharper. Do you want to embarrass my daughter? Humiliate our family? People are watching, you know. That one always gets me. People are watching. If your biggest concern is how you look to others, maybe you should have raised different expectations from the start. Dead silence. She huffed and hung up. 2 days later, her brother decides to try his luck. Calls me like we're boys. Hey man, listen. I know they're stressing you, but you gotta understand. You're marrying into the family. You take care of one, you take care of all. I hit him right back. Bro, I'm not signing up to be your retirement plan. Handle your own bills. And he throws it out there like it's nothing. You think you're too good for us or what? My sister deserves better. I just laughed. Then maybe she should find someone dumb enough to buy all your problems. And I hung up. At that point, I wasn't even angry anymore. It was like watching some bad reality TV. You know how it's gonna end, but you can't stop watching. What killed me though? She kept pretending like nothing was happening. Sending me texts like, "Hope your day's going well, babe." Like she hadn't unleashed her entire family on me to shake me down. And I just kept playing it cool, letting them run out of rope. Because honestly, the more they pushed, the easier they made my next move. I was done being tested. Now I was setting the terms. Couple weeks go by. I keep it quiet. No drama, no arguments, no stupid fights. Just silence. And you know what silence does? It makes people nervous. That's when she finally cracks and asks to meet in person. Face to face, to clear the air. So I say, sure. Let's talk. We meet at this little cafe she always liked. She walks in all sweet, acting like she didn't just send her entire family to shake me down for 6 figures. She sits down, gives me that fake little smile, and goes, "Baby, maybe we both just got overwhelmed. It's a lot, I know. But my parents, they're just thinking about our future. Security, stability." I sip my coffee. Security for who exactly? You. Them? Or your unemployed brother who's been living off your parents for the past decade? Her face twitches, but she pushes on. They just want to feel respected. You know how important family is to me. And that's when I drop it. Family's important to me too. Which is why I won't start mine by buying someone else's. She gets defensive fast. So you're saying you won't support me? I put my cup down. No. I'm saying I won't buy my way into a marriage where love comes with a price tag. If you want that, you've got the wrong man. Her tone shifts real quick. She starts raising her voice. You don't understand how things work. You're supposed to prove yourself. Other men would do this for their woman. And I just nod calm as hell. Then you should call one of them. See how that works out. She goes quiet. Starts tearing up like I'm supposed to feel bad. Bro, not this time. I sat there, watched her pull out every manipulation card she had. After everything we've been through? After all my sacrifices for you? I waited 8 years for you to commit, and now you're abandoning me? I lean forward, dead serious. No. I'm just finally seeing things for what they are. You never waited, you invested. And now you're mad your investment didn't pay off like you planned. Her lip starts shaking. And that's when she finally throws out the line that pretty much sealed everything for me. Through gritted teeth she says, "You're nothing without me." At that point, conversation over. I stood up, threw some cash on the table for the coffee, looked her dead in the eye and said, "We'll see about that." And I walked out. No scene. No yelling. Just done. What she didn't know though, I was already talking to my lawyer. And I wasn't just walking away. I was setting the entire board for what came next. After that cafe scene, I figured she'd need a few days to cool off. But nah, instead, her whole squad jumped into action like clockwork. First, it was her mom. She calls me up like she's some kind of family diplomat. "We're just trying to help you understand what commitment really means. Providing is part of being a husband, you know." I cut her off right there. Respectfully, I don't take marriage advice from people who can't pay their own mortgage without their daughter's boyfriend. Dead silence. She stammered some crap about misunderstandings and traditions. But I let her hang herself on that one. 2 days later, her brother hits me up. This dude, the same one I was supposed to basically sponsor, now has the audacity to text me. "You're blowing up your shot at a real woman over money, bro, weak move." I just replied, "Tell your parents you'll need a new sponsor. Good luck." Left it at that. Then came the escalation, the guilt parade. Mutual friends started reaching out. Same script. "Man, she loves you. She's just scared. You know how close she is with her family." Honestly, that might have worked on me 5 years ago. But now, I saw exactly what it was, damage control. She wasn't scared. She was pissed her plan didn't work. She bet on me folding like a nice guy who's scared to lose her. But I wasn't that dude anymore. And that's when I knew she was running out of moves. Because her last play? She tried to spin it like she was the victim. She starts posting on social media, little vague quotes about being heartbroken, and betrayal hurts the most when it's from the one you trusted. Subtle enough to make people ask questions, but obvious enough so everyone knew it was about me. I didn't bite. Not once. No public drama. No posts. No passive-aggressive likes. I stayed quiet. Then her dad calls. Now this guy barely ever talked to me one-on-one. But suddenly, "Son, maybe you're not ready for real responsibility. Marriage takes sacrifice. Maybe you're not man enough yet." I swear I had to take a breath. I told him flat, "If your definition of being a man is writing checks for your mistakes, then yeah, I'm not your kind of man. But I'll be fine." He paused, like he wasn't expecting me to hit back like that. Then he mumbled something about hoping I'd grow up and reconsider. I just said, "You raised a daughter who thought marriage was a business deal. I'm not buying in." End of story. What none of them realized is that every single conversation, every call, every message, my lawyer was documenting. Because legally, I was building leverage. I wasn't just walking away from this engagement. I was making sure when I walked, I wouldn't leave anything on the table. And trust me, they were about to find out how serious I was. 2 weeks later, it was supposed to be our final sit-down. She asked for it. Said we needed closure. What she really meant was one last attempt to flip the narrative. I agreed, but on my terms, my place, neutral ground, no family, no friends, no drama. She showed up looking like she was stepping into a courtroom. Hair perfect, makeup on point, fake smile locked in. "I just want us to talk like adults. she started. I stayed silent. Let her talk. She went on this whole speech about how much pressure she was under from her parents, how it wasn't really her demand, how maybe she said things wrong, but it came from love. Right. Because nothing says love like, if you love me, you'll buy my parents a house or you're not man enough. I finally cut in. Save it. You knew exactly what you said. You meant it. And you meant to manipulate me into a life I didn't agree to. You didn't miscommunicate, you gambled. And you lost. Her face froze. That little PR script she'd practiced? Dead on arrival. She tried to get emotional, tears, shaky voice, the whole poor me routine. I just didn't want to lose everything I've built with you, she whispered. We've built nothing, I said. You tried to build your parents' retirement fund off my back. That's not a foundation, that's a hustle. And then came my final move. I reached into my folder, pulled out a copy of the cancellation contract for the wedding venue. Deposits forfeited, everything officially void. I slid it across the table. You can tell your parents they don't have to stress about the wedding anymore. It's over. Her jaw actually dropped. For a second, I swear she forgot to even breathe. She started panicking. You're making a huge mistake, we can fix this. I just leaned back and said, I did fix it. This is me fixing it. This is me protecting myself from being your family's personal ATM for the next 30 years. And just when I thought she might walk out with a shred of dignity, she threw one last shot. You'll never find someone who'll love you like I did. I laughed, man. I genuinely laughed. Yeah. That's the whole point. 2 days later, I bought my own house. Full cash, no loans, no cosigners. My house. My name. My rules. And guess who showed up with her mom on my driveway the following month? Both standing there, crying, saying they just wanted to talk. I stood at the door, coffee in hand, and simply said, There's nothing left to talk about. You wanted me to prove I was a man? Well, here it is.